At the age of 30, when most of us are just finding our footing, she was diagnosed with transverse myelitis and later underwent a total hip replacement surgery. Two health battles back to back. That would have made anyone pause and ask, why me? But Shubhangi has never been a person to ask why me. Rather, she chooses to ask what now. With her son as her anchor and her willpower as a compass, she rebuilt not just her body but her entire sense of purpose. She turned her recovery into a calling. Today, she is an educational counselor, a life coach, and a soft skills trainer with over 15 years of experience, having guided hundreds and thousands of students, educators, and professionals towards clarity, confidence, and growth. Her approach is built on a very, very simple tool, simple yet deep tool, I would say. And it is analyze, realize, and channelize. So the conversation that we had with her is totally refreshing. It gives us a new perspective on how life's challenges should not restrict us. They should not drive us towards asking why me. Rather, we should use our tools, our mental tools, and ask what now. Our guest today in the 5th episode of SHRISHTI is Shubhangi Tiwari. She believes that challenges don't define your limits. Your willpower and your anchors do. In today's episode, we are going deep into her personal story, the pressures that women carry silently, what it really means to be strong, and the kind of wisdom that only comes from having truly lived something that you believe in. This is a conversation that you would definitely not want to miss. So let's welcome our guest with a lot of gratitude and a lot of appreciation for the kind of life she has designed for herself despite all the challenges that came her way. Join me in welcoming Shubhangi Tiwari. Thank you so much for coming on SHRISHTI and agreeing to share your journey, because there's a lot of things that we can learn from you. We are looking forward to learn from you. So thank you very much for coming here today.
Well, it's equally, an opportunity for me as well, because certain time it happens that you have a lot going on in your life, but you don't get a channel and a platform to share it with people, wherein you can give an insight to the people, those who are or maybe sharing the same space in their life, but finding it different to and difficult to navigate. So, right. So I would really appreciate your effort and your insight for taking this, initiative of bringing SHRISHTI to the common people.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shubhangi. So let's begin with the heart of your journey. Tell us a bit about your life. What are the experiences that shaped your personality that you have today and the life that you have today?
So I think if I want to talk about my life, I would simply give it a credit to three different divisions. First is, yes, the upbringing that I got from my parents. So I was always told to remain grounded, right, and face the reality and struggles with your own, strength base rather than running behind. And taking a safe space. So that was never a story during my childhood. That was first, I believe, because that is where the foundation has been constructed. Then second is wherein I became a mother, right? So that was again transformational for me, right? Taking a baby out of your own and then nurturing and playing the same role that was played for you way back. And the third and most important element is that the year where I got almost a fatal illness, right? And doctors have advised, not advised, they have declared almost that I'm going to remain on bed forever in my life if I get to survive. So these are three divisions which has really shaped me in what I am today.
That sounds like a journey which had a lot of strength, which had to have a lot of strength to come out of that.
Certainly,
Because
yes.
I think medically, especially, there are things where we completely surrender whatever we are being told because of limited uh, knowledge. We feel that whatever the doctors are saying is what is right. So coming out of that would definitely have taken a lot of strength for you.
That is there, Nivedita. But I think other than that, there is one more thing, right? There is something called self-healing, right?
Mhm.
And something we don't put, real stress and emphasis over is the power of self-healing, right?
Right.
So half of the things will be getting its channel if you have a great willpower, wherein you can feel within yourself that yes, this is something I can deal with, at least if I'm not able to deal with, because certainly everything doesn't come the way we think about, but at least we should give it 100% try. And what I feel is most of the people, regardless of gender, we fail on this very first part only, and that is where we lead to 100% trust the other side of it, and that remains a doctor. But doctors may treat your illness, but they cannot treat your mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a very powerful thing. Self healing has great powers. I agree.
Yes, 100%.
Right, right. So, you faced severe health challenges, and I know that the kind of challenges that you faced, they wouldn't be just be physical. Like we just spoke, it's more on the self-healing part. It is emotional, it is mental, it is psychological. So, what did that phase teach you about yourself? And like you very beautifully described when we spoke earlier about the rebirth. So, help us understand what led to that rebirth of yours.
Okay, so for that, I would just need to give a small introduction about the entire situation so that you'll be able to relate what took there.
Yes.
So I have always been a very active individual, right? So I was, work is something that has always given me a pleasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was very active mother, active professional, and I was having the best of my space in life. But somewhere down the line, I had that instinct that internally there is something which is not going good, right? So one fine day, I started having some ulcers within my mouth, and I went to the doctor, and he said that there are some, dentistry issues. So I went to the dentist. He gave me his prescription, and that is where you can relate that we trust the doctor 100%, because by the time I was also doing the same, right?
Right.
So then it didn't work out. Then I started having mild fever, and it remained for some days. I took medicines and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was a strike in my mind that there is something which is not going to be good, right? Because I know the healing of my body, when it comes to any illness, right? So the very next day, and this all happened in just 3, 4 days, right? The very next day, I observed that the entire body has got rashes, right? And bruises almost the entire body.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the doctor, and he mentioned that it looks like that it's scarlet fever. By that time, I was not medically very aware, so I absolutely abided by whatever he said, and I agreed, and I came back home. I took medicines, and then I was very intrigued individual. So whenever something new comes in, I always feel in like reading and knowing it more in order to upgrade myself and upgrade my knowledge. So I read it, and then I got to know that this is scarlet fever is something which is majorly found in the children up to 12,
Oh.
right? So then I got a strike that this is maybe not a right place. However, my condition got deteriorated. I started having a lot of difficulties in my regular eating habits, and rashes went darker and darker by uh, tone every single hour. I went to the doctor. He looked at me and he said that you get hospitalized. I got hospitalized, and it was very next day of Holi, right? So there were lack of doctors availability as well. I got hospitalized. He started my medication, and I was there. I was lying on my bed, and I had to wake up from my hospital bed. The moment I wake up, I literally fell on the ground following the gravity. I wasn't able to control my body anytime.
Oh my God.
Now there I tried to, come up, stand
Mm-hmm.
again. I took the help of the bed, and I tried standing the way I used to, and again I fell down. And that is where I got a click that this is something which is not just a weakness of the body. There is something more to it, right? Then my mother and my family was there. They asked the doctor. I started getting the breathlessness. My heart rates were around 150 consistently, and my face was almost turned black.
Mm-hmm.
People who were coming for a social visit to me in the hospital, they were leaving the room looking at me because they thought that this is not me, there's someone else, because there was so much, physical changes that they could observe. There I took I got that there's something fishy. I told this to my family. My family decided to take a referral to some better hospital, right? So I went midnight to the better hospital, wherein I was having a difficulty in breathing, and I could not. I could sense that I'm powerless in the lower limbs. I went to the hospital. There were a lot many, at that time, I'm talking about 10 years back. So that time, things were not that open. People were not aware. Doctors were not aware that what this could be. So they took me almost as an experiment case, and they did everything possible. Later, 3-4 days, I got to know that I'm encountered with a disease called transverse myelitis, wherein there was there was a infection in my lumbar fluid, that is the spinal fluid,
Right, right.
and that was pseudomonas. And if you go after this and you research it, you would find that very limited people could survive after this infection.
Yes, yes.
It was a setback for me because my son was just 1.25. He was not even a complete toddler, right? He was there, and he was a very mama's kind of a boy. So he was always around me, with me, on me, above me. We had that space. Now, when this information broke out that I got transverse myelitis, my family took me to almost like 8 doctors in a particular day, and all top best doctors in Delhi NCRs. All 8 to 10 doctors stated the same, that she is either going to survive this way, lying on the bed forever, else pray for her survival. And again, people are so, at times, they don't even realize the sensitivity of the matter, that they speak just like that without even realizing the mental condition and situation of the other person, or maybe of the patient. So there also, I believe that the empathy and compassion is something which needs to be integrated in a hell lot, volume. I heard that. Yes, I would not deny the fact I broke out. I was collapsed, right? I was hospitalized to the, for some more days. And my father-in-law was very attached to me. The moment he heard that this is going to condition, he got a heart fail immediately, and he left for heavenly abode.
Oh my God.
The moment I got to know about his condition, my condition deteriorated, and I had tremors on all of my body. I wasn't able to hold the pen I used to. My hands were like this. I still have that paper wherein I have written with a tremor hand, and it looks like that, a toddler has started writing. But that is something which gives me courage. That is not something I'm keeping it as a shortcoming or, a bad phase of my life. No, not at all.
Right.
So I had that space, and my life was absolutely traumatized. My son was so much into a trauma that obviously my mother is absolutely vanished, and some of the family member vanished, and things like that. But I had my fair share, and I was having this at the back of my mind that, I may or may not survive after this, right? And I was just 26, 27 there. But then one constant courage factor that worked for me was the willpower that I realized during that time. Right. Though I had that instinct, but I got a complete control over it when I was into this. I had certain suicidal thoughts as well, that I should, I should leave it. I mean, what am I going to do? If I'm lying on bed, why to have a sympathy bracket for people to come and sympathize? That is something I never liked in life, right? So I lived my life on my terms, and I never like people being sympathized. I never play that stuff, right? And I know I don't like that for me. It's not that I don't appreciate when people do that, right? So I then, one fine day, I was sitting and I looked at my son. He was finding difficult to feed the proper meal. That was a time when I realized that if anything happens to me, it's not just one life which is going to be destroyed. It is going to be his life absolutely tossed. And the kind of future I see, I plan for him, he may never experience that. Because yes, If God has given me 10 jobs, I can claim that I've been performing the best as a mom. No one else can do that for me. And
Right.
there I got that channel that I don't have to survive for anything but for my son. And that is exactly where I've realized that I should have just two things in my life. One is survival, right? And survival is not on bed, survival is on myself,
Right.
right? I can have certain limitations, that is not deniable. Everyone has their fair share
Absolutely.
of struggles, that is
Absolutely.
okay.
Right.
But that is first, that is survival. And second, who's going to look after my son?
Mm-hmm.
And for him, I have to work also, because work is something that gives me pleasure and real, treasure in my life. I went to the doctor and I asked him very straight, tell me exactly what it is. Be brutal, but tell me the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like that, whatever improvements you will have in the first 2 years, you are going to remain with it forever in your life. So it can be sitting, it can be lying down, it can be walking, it can be jumping, whatever you make yourself for. So you decide your destiny. That was the day I decided to work upon myself. And the only thing I worked with is self resilience, gratitude for God for at least giving me the space of listening to the doctor that at least I have 2 years.
Right.
Assuming that, I can assume that also that I'm going to die tomorrow, but I
Correct.
can assume the other side also. And if the other side is giving me some or the other hope,
Mm.
then why to follow something which
Why
is
not?
right?
Absolutely.
So here one important point also comes in, that choosing right thing for yourself in the right time makes a lot of difference,
Absolutely. Absolutely
right?
agree.
So choosing right is very right, and choosing right is always right, right?
Correct.
So there I started working upon myself, and there I would like to talk about the social stigma that you've mentioned, that the struggles, they are not
Mm.
only personal and professional struggles, the mental emotional struggles, but there are social struggles also. When I
Absolutely.
was taking medicines, I was on the medicines, and medicines had that side effect that my entire body was swollen up.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this much big face. And when I used to visit to the doctor, I usually encountered that people turning back and looking at me, gazing me, and how different she is looking. Sometimes people making fun of it. Sometimes people are just giving a very, not empathetic, but sympathetic look. Oh my God, what has happened to her? And like that, no.
Right.
And mix of emotions. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I told myself, I taught myself, and I worked upon myself is to focus on how I feel, to focus on what I need, and to focus on what is right at the moment as per my best of the capacity.
Correct.
10
Correct.
people may come, 10 people may have different opinions based on different their experiences and example, but that is not going to fit into my life,
Right. Right.
right? So that one thing is to remain straightforward in terms of how you feel, how you think, and sticking to it is very important in life.
Agree.
I passed that challenge. I There were times when I went to doctor all alone, having that, you know, support system for walking, walkers and everything. And when I look back today, I don't see that as one of the dark phases of my life, right? But I see that whatever I am today, whatever mindset, clarity, maturity, a definition of life, a look for life, decision for life, or how I conceive life, whatever I have now is just because of that time. So somewhere that time has, yes, given me a rebirth, and I was one of those luckiest individuals in the world who get rebirth and living and continuing the same life.
Absolutely. So, Shubhangi, this was something I really like. I cannot tell you the kind of chills I was getting when you were speaking, because uh, it was very easy for you to choose to, succumb to this situation. Because when your body, I think once when you feel helpless, that's the worst feeling, because once you feel we cannot do anything, nothing can
It
happen,
happens.
then you
I
lose
cannot
it
tell you
all.
the fact. I can tell you the fact. When I was on my medications and I was completely lying like a corpse in the bed, right? So I used to have that feel that even if I'm thirsty, I need water. I could not collect courage to ask people twice. However, my parents were standing by every side of it,
Mhm.
right? But I could not collect the courage to ask them for water again,
Right, right,
feeling that I am being burdened to them.
right,
And
right.
that is one thing I've realized, that I told you, no, I never liked people over helping me, right?
Hmm.
That was again one of the fact that asked me to work more upon myself, because I could not lead that life. You would not relate to the fact, you would not believe that I spent entire 20 days with an open eyes. I could not sleep even for 1 minute during that time.
That's really unimaginable. Absolutely. Nobody can actually relate
No
to what
one.
you're saying.
but
Yeah.
but I have lived that. I know how that single second makes you feel, and how much power and caliber that time has to break you and shatter you and collapse you completely for the rest of you. It happens,
I agree. I agree.
right? Yeah.
Like I said, when you were speaking, I couldn't even imagine the situation you would have been. I could only feel, it's as if something inside is pulling. What is this? But and despite all of that, you chose to look at the brighter side. You chose to choose hope.
That's how you can crack life.
Right.
That is how I have learned. That is how you can crack life. If you look at the brighter side, at least you will be able to make some of it, not all of it, but some of it. And no one
Agree.
can make all of it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think that is another realization which we need to have, because every time everything cannot be done, and we when we start capturing a lot of things, we lose on the ones that we can actually achieve also. So
100%.
um, like I said, it's a lot of a lot of thing to actually gather, but the kind of courage you showed, and I know what you're saying, being a person who has been independent throughout, even asking for a
100%.
glass of water is a very very big thing to do.
I'll
So
tell you that when the situation came,
mhm,
during that time also, I had one thing very clear, that I never wanted to have any regrets in upbringing my child. I could join the job with whatever. I mean, I could get a very good job that time, right? But then
mhm,
I chose to create something of my own and work from home, so that none of my major responsibilities gets completely ignored, right? To create a balance. Again,
right,
we at times don't follow the balance in life. We run
right,
behind our career, we absolutely give and dedicate everything to career. We look for the
right,
family, we give and dedicate everything to the family. But we
correct,
don't learn how to create a balance, so that we can
balance,
manage all the proportions in a very right ratio. So it is
right.
important to be rational that time.
Yeah. So I can completely relate to this, and I'll not say that I made the decision very clearly, but yeah, there came a time when I realized about my health also, about my son is also just he'll turn 6 now. So
Oh, he's so young.
I was getting that feel that somewhere few things are being compromised, and I was not
Yes,
liking it.
yes.
So that is the reason I came back to this sector. I'd gone back to corporate, but then I was working on the NLP part since long, mental health and everything. But I came back to this to maintain this balance. So it's very good to hear
100%.
from you because
100%. People say that, we cannot run our life. We need two people to earn. We need this. Absolutely understanding every bit of it. But
Mhm.
we channel things where we prioritize our ideas.
Correct.
Whatever is our priority, we will be able to give space to it.
Right. Right.
Again, choosing right thing at the right time. If I see my son, however, my son is will be turning 12 this year, so
Mhm.
he's yeah, I mean older than your son. But then the kind of individual and the kind of person he is becoming by every passing day, that
Right.
gives me a great confidence that whatever decision I took that time has
Right.
always been payable in the form of the kind of personality individual he is turning out. Because again,
Absolutely.
that is a social responsibility, how you raise your child.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I think there is no better thing than, like you said, that you're giving birth to a life and then to nurture that person, to make him grow into a personality which you feel, yes, we are socially responsible. So that achievement gives a lot of, I think,
Lot
I'm
of
happy,
confidence, lot of
confidence.
confidence.
Yes, yes, that you're doing the right thing.
100%.
Right. So, I think we spoke about the social limitations. We spoke about, I completely agree, because again, when you are someone who wants to take charge of their own life, you don't like people sympathizing. That is there. Uh, I just want to know your views on, like, women in general. Like we little bit touched upon it. There is no balance that they're able to maintain, and there's always judgment around them. So, what do you think can women, what are the virtues or what are the habits, qualities which they can internally develop, or the kind of mindset tool that they can develop to combat with all of this and focus on what their internal, calling is? What are your views on that?
So first and foremost thing is, most of the women, what I have observed, look a lot for validation,
Yes. Yes.
right? So if I'm wearing something,
Mm-hmm.
right, I would go to 10 people within my family, it can be male, it can be female,
Mm,
asking, how am I looking?
right.
Why? I cannot
Mhm.
see myself. I cannot give opinion to myself. I can give opinion and validation to people, but I am unable to do the same for me.
Myself.
That is
Correct.
first. You are not supposed to take validations. Yes, you go out to people for taking and seeking suggestions. You
Correct.
go out and people for seeking advice on their expertise. But
Mm-hmm.
why do you exactly need a validation for doing something? That is
Right.
one thing. Second, we come from a society and a background wherein comparisons have become so much so part of our life. At times we
Mm-hmm.
don't even realize that we are comparing ourselves, but eventually we end up comparing ourselves
Agree.
to
Agree.
maintain the social stigma. If
Right.
my neighbor has got something, it's okay, I don't need it, I don't need it, so I will not purchase it. It's as simple as that. I am not just going to purchase this because my neighbor purchased it and I am going to maintain a social stigma. No, I need a four wheeler. I need a four wheeler. If I do not need a four wheeler, I would definitely not need a four wheeler. Why am I doing something to please people and please society? That is second thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And last but not the least is to have believe in yourself. I'll give you a very basic example, right? And with this, I think women will be able to relate with it 100%. You must have come across lot many times wherein people, in fact the females also have heard saying that uh, drive rationally. It is some papa
Mm-hmm.
ki pari who's driving.
Right. Right.
What do you think? Males have never committed any accidents.
Yes.
Males
That's.
have never committed any rash driving,
Mm-hmm.
any wrong driving, any rule breaking. They did a hell lot of time. But the
Absolutely.
conviction comes from the society because that has never become a talk of the town, and hence they continue doing it and no one is questioning them.
Correct. Correct.
But if you see a lady who's driving and by 1%, we talk that we say that ladies cannot do multitasking. I say women are proven to be better administrators than men
I agree.
because of
Yes.
the brain structure, psychological and scientific brain structure,
Right. Right.
right? But very easily I've seen that people are committing jokes, and people are commenting or
Mm-hmm.
passing lame jokes about their driving skills, their talking skills. And the fun part is that the female herself has become a part of it.
Yes. Yes.
I,
Agree.
I never encourage jokes on females.
Mm-hmm.
I never
Mm-hmm.
encourage jokes on kids. I never encourage jokes on any gender. Why should I encourage jokes on people? Why shouldn't I encourage jokes on situations?
Mm. Correct.
Right? People I've seen, I mean, I usually get 10 times messages like, okay, you're unable to cut it. Use a female's, tongue. It is far more sharper than a knife.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be.
It's
It has to
happening.
be,
It's
boss. It has to
happening.
be. It is a brutal word. It is a hard word. So, in order to survive, I need to have that. And if I have that, I should be accountable enough to accept that. The
Correct.
acceptance is something which females do not have, or
Mm-hmm.
very less females have. So, either it is either the contrast side. Either they are very submissive,
Mm-hmm.
or the boldness definition has gone into using slangs, using, altogether just harsh language, and that is where
Mm-hmm.
the boldness comes from. However, the boldness is that you are able to drive your life with your strength, with your ideas, and you are able to pass any hardship that you are receiving without the help of people. That is the real boldness. Real boldness never comes in using harsh language.
I
So we have
agree.
to find a way, the mediocre way, so that we can
Right.
run And again, social responsibility is the biggest responsibilities we have. By
Right.
not doing everything right what society is expecting me to know, but at least being a constructive part of my existing society. That is what matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I totally agree with the validation part. I think even when we are using, certain language, we are making our appearance, we are altering our appearance in a certain way. All of it somewhere is based on that validation that we are seeking.
100%.
Right. And we need to come out of it. Absolutely.
Yes. I like wearing this and I'm wearing it. And as far as no one is liking it, is okay. I've seen people saying that I'm getting ready for my husband. Why are you getting ready for your husband? Can't you get ready for yourself? If you're
Yourself.
looking nice, everyone
Absolutely.
will like it. If you're not looking nice, no one will like it, whether it is your husband or your,
Uh,
any commodity person.
Right.
Simple.
And absolutely, if I am dressing up in a way which I am not comfortable in, so I'm not making myself only happy. Whatever others think comes later. So that
So
makes a
these are
lot of
very small,
sense.
small things that starts from the house itself. I have hardly
Right.
seen females cooking food of their choice.
Right. Right.
It should be a habit. If you're making food of your children's choice, your family's choice, then definitely why you're not making something of your choice and ask them to feed, because you are also adjusting and compromising, and that is where the
Right.
adjustment and compromise become a part and parcel of your life.
Right. Right.
So give space to yourself, give value to yourself first, and then people will start valuing you.
Right. I agree. I agree on this. So this brings us to something again, which is I feel women who take a step ahead with what they want to do, they listen to what their inner calling is. Sometimes it not every time the graph cannot be the same. So there are times when we have ups and downs, and there are times when we face self doubt or fear. So what is the tool that you use, or what is the mechanism which brings you back to being what you are?
uh, can you give me more clarity on the question?
Like in times when if there are times where you're feeling you're having any self doubt, or you're fearful of doing something, like you're not very sure, you're getting apprehensive. So what do you do then to bring that confidence back to you?
See, there are always two ways in life, right? Whatever situation, whatever circumstances, whatever life may throw you, right? But there are always two ways how I process. So
Mhm.
I divide my attention into two portions. One is that if this is the situation, and one side I have tuck tuck tuck, these are the options. On
Mhm.
the contrary, these are the options, right? These options are going to lead me to a certain space,
Mhm.
a certain outcome, and the second scenario is going to take me to a certain outcome. Which outcome is preferably, I'm assuming, to be more suitable? First, not thinking that this is 100% going to work,
Right.
and be ready for the failures.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just that if it works out, then also you have a great experience. If it didn't work out, you have at least learned what not to try in the next
Want
time,
to try. Right.
right? So I always divide my conscious into two portions: channelizing, analyzing, and realizing the situations, the outcomes, the results. And whatever suits comparatively more in contrast to the other, I go for it. That is first point. Second, at times there are certain situation comes in wherein we feel like that there's no solution at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that happens many times,
Yes.
right? Wherein we feel like that there, I'm sorry, this has no solution. So there's just problem that has been given to me, but I cannot see any solution to it. Now, there are two things. First, time. You know everything, but do not know the time. You may know everything, but you do not know the time. That is first thing. And second, something what is meant to come back to you will find its way. And something whatever is not meant for you, you try and hard getting it. It was never meant for you. It will reach to the situation, the person who it was meant for. So, unnecessarily draining yourself emotionally, physically, and mentally would not always give you the desired results, right? You need to have a very thoughtful three mantra. I always follow that: realize,
Mm-hmm.
analyze, and then channelize. Whether it is personal, professional, social, mental, emotional, physical, financial,
Mm-hmm.
these three have really worked every time for me. So I even pass it on to my radius also, that realize your problem,
Mm-hmm.
analyze your problem, and
Right.
then channelize your energy. Would not give you the expected results, because expectation is something which has no definition. Everyone has got their own definition of expectations,
Correct.
right? But at
Correct.
least it will give you certain confidence that at least you have tried it, at least you have participated into it,
Right.
right? And that is going to slowly and gradually construct your confidence for the later problems that you may encounter, or definitely you will, because life is never that easy.
I really love what you said. I like this is actually like a mantra, like and it's like on the tip of your finger. You can you can just recall whenever you're feeling low,
Yes.
you recall this thing, and then you can actually put your mind to the right thinking process.
I
So I
even, my
absolutely
son is
love
just
this.
12. My son is just 12. He started having his preteens,
Right.
emotional, mental, physical changes. So even I tell him this also, that whenever you
Mm-hmm.
come across and when you feel stuck, you cannot
Mm-hmm.
dependent on me every time, because at times I'm there, at times I'm not there. At times
Absolutely.
you're not in a space of sharing it with me, or at times there are certain issues which you don't like to share with your mother, right?
Absolutely.
But please make sure that you follow this three-word mantra. You realize the problem,
Mm-hmm.
you analyze the situation, because analysis gives you a break.
Right. Right.
It restricts your impulsive reaction.
Right. Right.
So you would not react, you would respond.
Correct.
And the moment you stop reacting and start responding, the things turns out to be a little positive. And then you channelize things, and trust me, this will almost work for most of the
I loved it. Like I said, I just loved it because I'm going to follow it definitely. Because
okay.
we have a lot of thoughts. We know ki ha, this is right, this is not right, this is there. But to structure it actually is what is required. So
Yes.
usually we have hundreds of things, and then we, from one problem to the other, we keep hopping, and then one is left half solved, one is solved. So, but this is something which I think I have it on the tip of my finger now. I'm going to follow it.
I'm glad that talking has can help you in any possible way. I would really
Yes,
be
yes,
very
I'm
grateful of it.
really grateful to you for sharing this on like with me, and I'm sure whoever listens to this is going to find it really, really useful. So wonderful, wonderful, Shubhangi. Next, I have some lighter questions just to,
Yes.
lighten up. We had a lot of insights from you. And the best part, I think I would really compliment in between here is the way you share things. Like you're so cheerful, and the everything that you talked about is so heavy to for anyone like me who is talking to you for the first time, or who is getting to know about the situation for the first time. But the way you cheerfully and lightly talk about it, and giving us so much to learn from, I really, really compliment you for that.
Thank you so much. But that is how I see my life.
Yeah. No, we
That
I
is
can sense
absolutely
it.
I see. So currently I'm running my life on prosthesis, right?
Uh,
And this people only gets to know when I tell them.
right,
You
right.
cannot make out from my physical appearance, my emotional appearance, my mental appearance. You would not be able to. And that is not something that I forcefully do that. But
Mm,
this is something I have, constructed myself to become natural with it, right?
right.
So that things become easier. And that is how you deal with it. Else you get densed with it.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. So my next set of questions are something which are not rapid fire, but lighter ones, and just one word, one sentence answers that I see from you. So what is your one food indulgence? Something you cannot resist.
A good tangy curry chawal. I really
Oh,
like curry rice a lot.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And what do you do when you have a lazy hour?
I read something. I
Okay.
read, something related to life coaching. I don't, I cannot just sit without doing anything. I cannot just sit like that. That makes me more dense rather. So here
Uh,
I can crack it. So I read a lot. I listen to podcast. I learn knowing people's perspective. So
mhm.
I like to engage myself with some or the other way.
Wonderful, wonderful. Something you love spending on, like your expensive habit or joy.
The most expensive, rather, I cannot take out the cost of it, is spending time with my son.
Right, right.
That's the utmost expensive space I have, which is absolutely non-replaceable.
Agree, agree. Uh, okay. Is there someone that you've not spoken to in a long time, and you want to talk to that person, but you are not able to for whatever reason?
I'm not like that. If I've left, I've left. And I don't carry baggages, honestly, right? So, yes, I don't forget anything, because that remembrance, that thought, that incident has somewhere shaped me. And I don't want to leave the lines which have shaped me. I don't forget, but I forgive. I don't carry baggages in my life. So no matter, I mean, during my that time also, if someone must have reacted very impulsive, insensitive, or whatever, I look at the brighter side in life always. So I really don't focus on negative thoughts much.
Nice.
If I feel
So,
like talking, I will, even after 20 years, if I, let's suppose if we could not talk to you, I could not talk to you for 20 years because of any XYZ reason. If after 20 years down the line, I feel like I should talk to you, I'll immediately take my phone, call up and talk to you. Simple. So I keep my life very simple, sorted, and, you know,
that's
positive.
that's nice. That's the best way to live, actually, rather than carrying things. So I think you've already answered. If I ask you, what would you say to someone who's not been very kind to you? I think you already said that you
Live and
just
let
forgive
live.
them.
Live and let live.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Wonderful. Um, So, coming towards, like, we had a very good conversation. We've known you as a very strong personality. Uh, in your experience, what are the, like, we spoke about validation, we spoke about what women are actually doing, which they should come out of. But if I ask you that, what are the silent pressures which they carry, because of which women are not able to express themselves? What is that silent pressure that you think they
The
carry?
silent pressure, the is the societal and family expectations,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know whether I should quote, but I would not refrain quoting it. Almost 50% of the marriages in India are not happy marriages.
Very.
They are compromised marriages.
Mm-hmm.
At time, in order to satisfy oneself from the society, from the family, we very often come across that we are keeping this marriage for the child,
Mm-hmm.
right? But somewhere, if the atmosphere in the house itself is not happy, I'm sorry, but you are making no good to the child,
Absolutely.
right? And being a single mother or a single father is not a negative social stigma,
Correct.
right? So they are not the category of people you should feel pity over.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I very often see that. Oh, you are a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you are a single father. It's not like that. Yes, I'm a single mother, and yes, I'm a single father,
Right. Right.
right? And we should not have that pressure to hold the red flags in life every time. If we identify that these are the red flags, which I'm experiencing at time, two people are wonderful people,
Mm-hmm.
but they are not compatible enough,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
one is that living life on expectation, that is not only related to marriage, that is related to education also. If you
Right.
go, there are certain bracket of educations which are meant for females, that okay, if you're female, you are most likely expected to study in a certain
Mm-hmm.
verticals, right?
Right.
Half of the, I mean, I never see that females are being really promoted to get into sports in the
Mm-hmm.
entire country's bracket. If I talk about, they are
Correct.
never promoted to join the armed force,
Correct.
right? And the reason is that physical strength. See, equality doesn't come wherein I will be able to lift 100 kgs like a man. There are physiological differences and we have to accept it.
Correct.
Right? But when I talk about the equality, that should come from the idea and opportunities.
Right.
If a person is having opportunity to choose, it can be from any gender. For that matter, we can take an example of LGBTQ.
Yes, yes.
Right? It's the world is not just revolving around the males and females.
Correct.
However, 95% of the time people conceive and talk like that.
Right.
When they talk about, I went for one of the judgment for the debate championship, and the topic was that gender equality. And as a matter of shock to me, there were 15 to 16 schools participated. All of them have came and just talked about male, female, male, female, male, female. Why LGBTQ is not a community?
Right.
We should not give them accommodation equal to us, and that is where equality comes in.
Absolutely.
But now people have started taking equality. Okay, if you are drinking, I will drink.
Correct.
If you are smoking, I will smoke, because equality. Boss, this is not equality. Equality is getting right opportunity, equal opportunity, regardless to the gender that you belong to.
Correct.
And that is where you would find in India, I have seen a lot of people those who belong to LGBTQ, and they even made fun in the society, or else they keep their identity concealed, because they don't want to get a matter of mockery in the society. So we should educate ourselves first, that when we talk about equality, is not just about the physiological equalities. Yes, all of us are physiologically different, right? And I am not matching myself with a man who can really lift 100 kgs. I certainly cannot. But when it talks about equality, getting equal opportunities, getting equal options to choose from, and that is regardless to gender that I belong. And I should be able to become vocal about it, that yes, if a person is belonging to any of these brackets, it's how I feel. And if the entire societal structure will change into it, obviously the acceptance within the parents will also come. Now even the parents are abundant such cases.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I agree, because I think when we start accepting, first of all, we internally we have to accept what our identity is, what we are, and then as a society, again coming back to that social responsibility, it is our social responsibility to accept whoever, whatever they are, the way they are, whatever they choose, it's their choice. So we just have to gain that acceptance as a society.
Yes, and exactly from here, I am taking the dot to the upbringing, that raise in such a manner. If you are a mother, if you are a father, if you are a parent who's raising a child, make sure that you are leading a step to a constructive society, not a destructive society.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely wonderful. This is again a very, very important insight. In our last episode, we talked something similar about it, where we were talking about children who are specially abled, who are differently abled, and to get that acceptance in the society, they are also struggling to get that acceptance. And again, today, that the thing that we talk about, these are all related. It's just about having that.
We in society are absolutely processing and allowing ourselves to get a part of that process also, wherein we are dealing and behaving differently and making things categorically different. Right? Every child is different. We have just named them a special child, right? I always feel very sensitive and very attached to this particular bracket. I mean, the human psychology again and well-being of an individual, that is something, maybe because of my personal situations, I very feel that it is very important to focus on the life coachings, life skills, and human skills, behavioral skills, acceptance to the society, understanding and nurturing the individuals in a right way. And that is where it comes from. We call them special. Now, if we talk about the normal student, everyone is getting a cent on 90 on 90, everyone. No, there are differences there also.
Absolutely.
And we are accepting it. It's just that because the name is not been stamped there. Here the name is stamped, and hence we are changing our perspective completely.
Correct, correct. I think that is again a very important aspect of parenting, where normally also we like, I also, when I do sessions, I tell them that please don't label your child, that he
Exactly.
is very, yeah, you don't need to label. We don't like being labeled as an adult. So why do we need to do it with anyone for that matter?
But Nivedita, labeling is a certain thing, but being accountable of your own scenario brings
Mm.
confidence.
Yes, yes,
Right,
absolutely.
so it is on the first on parental level, then on the upbringing level of the child, because you're constructing a mind there. And
Yes.
if I become a spokesperson, I cannot change the world, because but
Mm.
if every parent will take a small oath, they can bring a lot of change in the
Lot
coming
of
days.
change. I
Right,
agree.
so that is
Yes,
how we have to perceive it. And if I suppose, if I have dyslexia, I will say that I have dyslexia, it's okay.
yes,
At least I
yes.
know myself better, and I will be able to pave my ways in a certain way. Why should I
Correct.
compare myself? And that is exactly where it comes from. Comparison is
Mhm.
something which should, we've spoken about it in the beginning of the sessions.
Yes,
Comparison is a big no.
yes, yes,
Big no. We don't like, we should not do it with our child.
absolutely. Uh, I can, that there are so many things that I can actually see. They are so related, like, building confidence, coming back to the acceptance. And the more we talk about it, the more I think, like, it's like opening the doors of your mind, that things are there which we can do. And I really loved what you said, that if every parent takes an oath, by every we mean, to the limited part that we can reach out to also, we can actually bring a lot of change to the upcoming
Yes.
generation, to the people who are coming, and in within ourselves also. Like, after becoming a parent also, when they have when your child has a very curious mind, that is the phase when we also learn a lot. If they are questioning us, we are also learning. So what we do for them is actually what we are doing for the entire, I think, circle of
We are
parents.
absolutely, we parents are farmers.
Yes, yes,
The way we are going to sow, the way we are going to reap. But the
yes,
only difference is that the farmers reap for themselves first, but here the reaping
yes.
is related to the societal constructions.
Right, right. So very insightful indeed. Before we come to close the session, which I really don't want to, I feel like talking to you longer, but yeah, for the sake of this session, uh, I want to ask you something which is very special, if I can say. In your journey, your journey is like a story of resilience, is a story of healing, truth, and very good thing that you mentioned right in the beginning was the importance of self healing. So, with taking all of that from you, this is like a signature Shrishti ending question that we ask. Whoever listens to your story, I don't mean only women, whoever listens to the story, what is that one message that you would like to leave for them to carry with them?
First is, again, I would break it into steps. Become responsible for all your actions, knowing yourself, creating a balance on the individual level. Until and unless you're a strong individual yourself, you cannot become a part of a constructive society. That is one.
Right.
Second, please make sure all your actions, all your individualities, all your thought process, all your reflection should be one or the other brick in the construction of this society, because we say that society doesn't matter, but actually it does matter. Right, we say that society is like that, it is very easy to blame the surroundings, but
Mhm.
before blaming the surroundings, we should work, construct, reconstruct ourselves. At times we've been in a certain way, but the importance is to unlearn, relearn. That process is very important. Right, and then once you are a confident individual, when you are a self-aware individual, almost 85% of the people say that I'm self-aware, but they are not. And this is not what I say, this is what the theory says. Right,
Right.
so have self-awareness, and then get yourself equipped with the certain traits, certain mindset, certain certain constructive thoughts, wherein you are able to make a change in the society. right? And I would close it with a very common meme here, that there's a meme which is very going common, that is महलों का राजा मिला, अब रानी बेटी नौकर बनेगी. So raise your son in such a way that रानी बेटी नौकर ना बने, and it turns out to be a real game changing space in everyone's life. So make a mark wherever you meet. Make sure that when you're meeting people, you're leaving an impression, and that impression should not be negative but positive, and that can only be happen if you know yourself, if you're self-aware, if you're emotionally intelligent, if you know how to behave, and if you curate every best part of it and serve it to. We are not the victims of our situation. We should actually become the architect of it, right? So work on yourself, guys, and you will definitely be able to make a mark. Thank you.